folks on the tour guides told me to check this place out, Harry's De Wheels. So this is the place to go for meat pies. I'll have more explanation once I get everything. So as I was saying, I was told to visit this place, Harry's Cafe de Wheels, and check out their meat pies. And you can see for yourself what it all looks like. They have something called a tiger pie, which is just basically a pie that's been topped, in this case, with what I thought was potatoes and guacamole, which is weird enough as it is. Turns out they don't do guacamole here. They do mushy peas. And then top that all off with gravy. I wasn't quite that brave. I did get it with garlic onions and shredded cheese. So, you know, go with the stuff you like, right? In any case, it's curry beef. I don't know if that's Indian or if it's going to be like Japanese, like the Irish prefer. We're gonna find out. Let's just try one of the chips first. Which I think they've coated with salt and vinegar. More salt than vinegar, which is fine by me. So, there is that. And now, let's see what we've got here. Pie. Get all this here. And it is dripping with curry. Here goes. Oh yes, that's Japanese. That is Japanese curry. And it's not strong. It's not, you know, knock you on your keister spicy or anything like that. But it's definitely you taste it. It's. They did not skimp on the onions, by the way. And considering they charge $2 for the onions and $2 for the cheese, they better not skimp. Although those are Aussie bucks, which each one's like 65 cents, so take that into consideration. It's not a huge meal, though to be fair, the pie is about the size of a hamburger. I mean, you know, not a value menu hamburger. I mean, a regular item on the menu type of thing. And the chips they're quite generous with. And these are thick cut, so they're quite satisfying. And a good thing too, because I felt like I was short on time this morning for breakfast. So I didn't actually have a whole lot today. This is not something I've had before, although it's being sparkling lemonade. At least I hope it's sparkling. Yes, it's sparkling. They should be good. Not as much lemons that I would really like in it, but it's there, so there's that. This is... I was afraid I was going to have to come back and get myself something else. I still may get myself some dessert yet, at which point I have to refilm or at least add some more footage. But since most of their desserts are ice cream and sundaes, it wouldn't do to just have it sit here melting while I'm working on my lunch. So I suppose I could pick this up and show you, or maybe not show you very much because this is going to be at an angle. There's a lot of beef to this. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's certainly beefy, no question about that. But also generous with the onions, like I said. So this is quite the meal. It may not be quite as Australian as Vegemite or kangaroo. Oh, wow. That was me chewing on the onions. The beef is tender. It practically melts in your mouth. The onions are a little bit of a chew. Oh. And I'm glad I put the cheese on there. It really works well. So. I don't know if I could make something like this back at home, though. I was that much. This is really something, though. It's an interesting sort of cheesy crust that they have on the top here. It's the bottom is a basic dough crust. The top here has got this sort of eggy, cheesy sort of look to it. I don't really know what it is, but it really is very good, and you can see how much beef they are. It's very generous with that, and like I said, very tender. Part of me feels like I'm disappointing my dad by only filming the stuff that I eat while I'm on land, especially considering that most of it is sort of really fast foody type of look to it. But the fact of the matter is that the local fast food is all very different than stuff that we have at home. And while, yes, most of the cruise ship food is different from what we have at home, because cruise ship food, it's going to be fancy. This is just different in a way that I couldn't quite put my finger on. I mean, meat pies are one thing, but curry beef, that's weird. Or at least that is exotic for me, and probably for everybody else watching this. And this is really good. This is going to be one of those things where I'm sorry it doesn't exist back home. I have these flavors that I deal with, the textures, everything about it is somewhat familiar. I know what a beef pot pie tastes like. I know what curry beef tastes like. The idea of putting them together is just kind of like, why don't we do this, you know? Yeah, that is a satisfying meal. Anyway, I'll have to get back to you on the rest of this, as you don't want to watch me eating the whole time. Besides, maybe I still will have dessert, so until then, talk to you later. Well, I didn't bother to get dessert at Harry's after all. I decided to wander home and found myself back at the Circular Quay at a place selling handmade ice cream. And this is something that they call, a flavor they call, and I guess this is a brand type, I don't know, called a Golden Gaytime. I've heard about this before, and of course, to an American, this is a ridiculous sounding name, so I had to try it. Now, I'd heard some of the folks on the ship talk about Hokey Pokey, which I guess is supposed to have honeycomb chips in it and stuff like that. Not the cereal, actual honeycomb, which is kind of cool. But this actually looks like it might be comparable to that. And so I'm going to give this a try. It's starting to melt on one side, and yeah, there is that sort of buttery honey type of flavor to it. And yeah, I know butter and honey aren't the same thing. The smoothness of butter and the flavor kind of like honey, I don't know. There is some white ribbons and brown ones, suggesting there might be chocolate and vanilla in here as well. I don't know. Maybe it's more like butterscotch. It is. It's hard to put it's hard to put a label on it. I mean, golden I can see because of the color of the ice cream. I have no idea where Gaytime comes from, but obviously they're, pardon the expression, milking that one for whatever it's worth, I'm sure. There's a strip here you can see of white cream. I don't know, I want to think it's vanilla. The dark brown stuff is a little less obvious to me. It's a slightly different texture, but I'm not about to say that it's chocolate. I really don't know what it is. It may be little chocolate flecks, I don't know. Again, it feels like I'm tasting chocolate, but I think it's just like I'm tasting what I expect to taste. If I wasn't looking at it, I'm not sure I would say that. But it's definitely either a honey or butterscotch flavor to it. It is a flavor that's sort of, I wouldn't mind having again. I wouldn't be brokenhearted if I couldn't, I guess, because that's how it goes. But this is sort of, well, I'm glad I had some of this. Yeah, it's not, oh boy, it's somewhere between honey and butterscotch, and I really don't know. I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm still not going to know. But as always, everything is just enjoyable. That's the way you have to be. Enjoy everything as best you can. I don't think I'm going to want a whole lot of dinner tonight, that's for sure at this rate. I did go and get myself stuff at the cash point, so hopefully that'll make things easier going forward. They do charge a certain percentage if you use your card. Of course, they charge for making a cash withdrawal too, so 6 of one, half dozen the other, and I don't know if I came out ahead in terms of the exchange rate, to be honest. But no matter. This is really tasty, and after all that walking, I think I deserve a little bit of a treat, especially since this is something I'm not going to get at home. They'd never sell anything by this name. Golden Gaytime. That's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get back on the ship, rest a little bit, recharge, and maybe head out again. I don't know. The question is whether I really need to or not. And I don't really have an answer to that. I've certainly seen a lot. I like this place. I'd come back here, but I don't think that in the next 4 hours I'm going to have a lot of time to absorb anything more than I already have. So, in any case, I'll just need the time to decide. Like I said, a little rest, a little recharging, literally, and I may be in a better frame of mind to figure out what I need or want to do. Until then, let me finish this up, and keep an eye on me, honey. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it.